Hey everyone, and welcome back to Old Charles. Ever been digging through your spare change, found a quarter from the 80s, and for just a second, wondered, what if? What if this common, everyday coin was actually a hidden treasure? Well, today we're putting one specific coin under the microscope, the 1983 Washington quarter. Millions and millions of these were made. You probably have one in your pocket right now. So, the $1,000,000 question, or, well, the $250 question, is, what is the 1983 quarter value, and are there any rare varieties that could be worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars? Stick around, because we're not just going to give you a simple answer. We're going to do a deep dive into the mintages, the key varieties you must look for, and the grading factors that separate a 25-cent coin from a $250 coin. Let's get started. On-screen graphic with the title, Chapter 1, the 1983 quarter, a coin in transition. Cut to B-roll of the Philadelphia and Denver mints from the early 80s. Show a close-up of a 1982 quarter and a 1983 quarter side by side. To understand the 1983 quarter, we need a little context. The early 1980s were a time of change for the U.S. Mint. The iconic John Flanagan design of George Washington on the obverse, and the majestic eagle on the reverse, had been around for decades. But in 1982, the composition of the dime and quarter changed. They were no longer made of silver, they were now a clad coin, with a core of pure copper sandwiched between two layers of copper-nickel. By 1983, this was the standard. But this change, and the minting process itself, is exactly where the opportunities for error and variety come from. In 1983, quarters were produced at two mints, the Philadelphia Mint ***, no mint mark. These are the most common, the Denver Mint ***, marked with a small d on the obverse, right near the ribbon in Washington's hair. On-screen graphic ***, a clear image of a quarter's obverse, with a circle highlighting where the d mint mark is located, leans in, speaking sincerely, with over 1.2 billion coins produced, your typical, worn in 1983 quarter from circulation is worth, exactly 25 cents. It's a common date. But don't click away. Because within those billion coins, there are some fascinating and valuable outliers. For the vast majority of 1983 quarters, their value is tied entirely to their condition. A coin that's been rattling around in pockets and vending machines for 40 years is only going to be worth its face value. But a coin that was saved in pristine condition, especially in its original mint state, can have a small premium. First, here's a typical circulated 1983 P quarter. You can see the wear on Washington's hair and the high points of the eagle. This is what you find in change. Value, 25 cents. Now, look at this 1983 D quarter in uncirculated condition ***. See the full luster. The original shine from the mint. There are no contact marks or wear. A coin like this, graded MS-60 to MS-63, can be worth $1 to $5 to a collector. A 1983 P graded MS-66 can bring $25 to $35. And a top-tier MS-67 example. We're looking at $100 to $150 plus. Remember, that's for a coin with no mint mark, one of the most common dates ever. It's all about preservation, dramatic music sting. Title card, Chapter 3, The Holy Grail, the doubled die. Extreme close-ups of known double die coins, with arrows pointing out the doubling. Okay, this is what you've been waiting for. The superstar of the 1983 quarter series. The coin that can transform your pocket change into a four-figure payday. I'm talking about the 1983 double die obverse. So, what is a double die? It's not a double-struck coin, where the coin gets hit twice by the die. This error happens at the die-making stage. The hub, which imparts the design onto the working die, shifts slightly and strikes the die a second time. This creates a permanent doubling on the die itself, which is then transferred to every single coin that die strikes. On the 1983 DDO, the doubling is most prominent on the motto, "In God We Trust," and the date, 1983. You can see a distinct shadow or doubling, particularly on the letters G, O, and D, and the numbers 1, 9, and 3. It has to be clearly separated, not just a little fuzziness from wear and tear. That's right. A single quarter, because of this manufacturing error, can be worth over $2,000. Now, it's important to know that this is an extremely rare variety for the 1983 P. You are far more likely to find a regular coin. But this is why we check, Title Card, Chapter 4, Other Oddities and Errors. Quick cuts of other coin errors like off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and repunched mint marks. First, look for repunched mint marks, RPMs. This is when the D mint mark was punched into the die more than once, and not perfectly aligned. You might see a slight doubling or shadow on the D itself. These are more common than the DDO but still carry a nice premium, anywhere from $20 to $100 plus depending on the severity and grade. Where the coin isn't struck perfectly in the collar. The value depends on how far off-center it is. A 5% off-center might be worth $10, but a 50% off-center could be $50 or more. Where a section of the metal blank is missing because of an error in the cutting process. These are always fun to find. Raised, jagged lines on the coin's surface caused by a cracked die. These errors aren't specific to 1983, but if you find one on a 1983 quarter, it instantly makes it more valuable than face value. Alex is now standing in front of a neutral background with a table containing a loop, a few 1983 quarters, a lamp, and a soft cloth. Alright, theory is great, but let's get practical. How do you actually check the quarters you have at home? It's simple. Look for the mint mark, ****, is it a P, or no mark, or a D3? Examine, In God We Trust. Look closely at the letters, especially God, for that distinct doubling. Compare it to a normal quarter if you can point for. Examine the date, check the numbers, 1983, for any shadowing or doubling. 5. Check the mint mark, look at the D, for any signs of repunching. 6. Assess the condition, is it worn, or is it shiny and uncirculated with full details? If you think you found something, especially a potential doubled die, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin destroys its surface and its value. The best thing to do is to put it in a protective plastic flip and consider getting it authenticated by a service like PCGS or NGC. So, let's do a final recap on the 1983 quarter value, are worth 25 cents. Their common coins, ****, can be worth $1 to $150 plus, with the value skyrocketing for top-tier gem grades. The 1983 P double die obverse is a potential $1,000 coin. Check your In God We Trust repunched mint marks and other errors can add a nice premium. The lesson here is that coin collecting is a treasure hunt. It teaches us to pay attention to the small details in the world around us. That little piece of history in your pocket might just have a more exciting story than you think. The quarter dollar, a staple of American commerce and culture, has a history that mirrors the nation's own, one of evolution, expansion, and symbolic change. From its origins in the infancy of the Republic to its current state as a canvas for American history, the story of the 25-cent piece is a fascinating journey. The quarter was one of the first denominations authorized by the Coinage Act of 1792, which established the United States Mint and the decimal system. However, the first quarters did not appear until 1796. The initial design, by Chief Engraver Robert Scott, featured the draped bust of Liberty on the obverse, front, and a small, scrawny bald eagle on the reverse. This draped bust, small eagle, type is exceptionally rare today, with only 6,146 coins minted in its 2 years of production. In 1804, the reverse was redesigned to feature a larger, more majestic heraldic eagle, inspired by the Great Seal of the United States. This design was short-lived for the quarter, with production ending in 1807 due to a lack of public demand for the denomination. A 20-year hiatus, 1808 to 1818 ***. Remarkably, no quarters were minted for 2 decades. Spanish colonial coins, known as bits, 2 bits made a quarter of a Spanish dollar, filled the need in commerce, making the official U.S. quarter redundant. The capped bust quarter, 1815 to 1838 ***, with the mint's chief engraver, John Reich, a new design emerged, the capped bust. This featured a plump liberty with a cap and a redesigned eagle. A key innovation during this period was the addition of ridges, reeds, on the edge in 1831 to prevent clipping and counterfeiting. The design was also made smaller. The seated Liberty quarter, 1838 to 1891 ***, Christian Gobrecht's seated Liberty design became one of the longest running in U.S. coinage. It depicted Liberty seated on a rock, holding a shield and a pole with a Liberty cap. The reverse featured the eagle. This design underwent several minor changes over its 53-year run, including the addition of motto, "In God We Trust," above the eagle in 1866, following a religious revival during the Civil War. The removal of silver, arrows at the date, and then its restoration, rays on the reverse, in the 1850s and 1870s due to fluctuations in silver prices. The introduction of mint marks, like S for San Francisco and O for New Orleans, as the country expanded westward, named for its designer, chief engraver Charles E. Barber. The Barber quarter was part of a suite of new designs for the dime, quarter, and half-dollar. It featured a Liberty head wearing a Phrygian cap, with a wreath and a heraldic eagle on the reverse. While competently designed, it was often criticized as being uninspired. It circulated during the Gilded Age and into the progressive era. As the world entered World War I, the U.S. sought a more modern, martial coin design. Sculptor Herman A. McNeil created the Standing Liberty quarter. Initial design, 1916 to 1917 ***. The obverse showed Liberty standing in a gateway, holding a shield and an olive branch. Notably, one breast was exposed. The reverse featured a powerful eagle in flight. The wartime revision, 1917 to 1930 ***. Public criticism over Liberty's exposed chest, combined with a desire for a more defensive posture as the U.S. entered World War I, led to a redesign in 1917. Liberty was now clad in chain mail, and 3 stars were added on the reverse to represent the 3 major Allied powers, France, Italy, and the United States. A key diagnostic for collectors is the date. On early issues, the date wore away quickly. In 1925, the design was modified to recess the date, making it more durable. The Washington quarter was born out of a national celebration, the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth in 1932. Original silver design, 1932 to 1964. 1976 ***. Sculptor John Flanagan won the design competition. The obverse features a left-facing bust of Washington, while the reverse depicts a majestic eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. Initially intended as a one-year commemorative, it was so popular that it replaced the Standing Liberty design permanently in 1934. The 1964 to 1965 transition, the end of silver ***. Due to a nationwide coin shortage and the rising price of silver, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the quarter in 1965. The classic 90% silver coin was replaced with a clad coinage, a sandwich of copper-nickel layers over a pure copper core. To prevent hoarding, mint marks were removed from all coins from 1965 to 1967. If you take away one thing from this, let it be this: a coin's condition is everything. 2 identical coins from the same year and mint can have a value difference of thousands of dollars based solely on their state of preservation. For modern coins like the 1983 quarter, condition is even more critical because collectors expect high-quality examples to exist. The American numismatic world uses a 70-point scale, developed by Dr. William Sheldon. Here it is, broken down into plain English, with a focus on the 1983 Washington quarter. Only the barest traces of wear on the very highest points, e.g., the hair above Washington's brow, the eagle's wingtips. Still lacks the original mint luster. For a common date like 1983, this is often the best condition you'll find in circulation. Value *25 cents to $1. The key takeaway for circulated 1983 quarters ***. If your coin shows any visible wear, it is almost certainly worth only its face value of 25 cents. Billions were made, and worn examples are extremely common. this is where the value begins. An uncirculated, UNC, or mint state, MS, coin has never been in circulation. It has zero wear. It left the mint and was stored safely, often in an original roll or a mint set. The difference between mint state grades comes down to three things: luster, contact marks, and striking quality. No wear, but may have heavy contact marks, bag marks from rubbing against other coins, and a dull or impaired luster. Value for a 1983 P/D *1 to $2. A above average uncirculated coin. Moderate, distracting contact marks. The luster may be above average. Value $3, $5.4 coins from the 1980s, this is the most important range. Because so many people saved coins in rolls, simply being uncirculated isn't enough. It has to be well preserved uncirculated. An attractive, sharply struck coin with outstanding luster. It may have a few minor contact marks, but no major detractions. This is the standard for a high-quality modern coin. Value for a 1983 P in MS 65 $10 to $15. Superb by appeal. Only minor, barely noticeable contact marks under 5x magnification. Full, brilliant luster. Value for a 1983 P in MS 66 $25, $35. Virtually flawless to the naked eye. Any marks are tiny and very few. The luster is vibrant and complete. This is a premium coin that was carefully preserved. Value for a 1983 P in MS 67 $100, $150 plus. For a mass-produced coin like the 1983, these are exceedingly rare. They represent the best of the best from the entire mintage, with only microscopic imperfections. Values can soar into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. A good light source and a 5x magnifier, loupe, 0.1. Check for wear on the high points obverse. Heads, run your eye over the hair at Washington's forehead and above his ear. On a worn coin, these areas will be smooth and lack detail. On an uncirculated coin, you will see